All right. So, wow, this mic has very high peaking. Everyone always says I'm quiet, but this is mic peaked so quickly. All right, so let's edit this. I've been doing some work while off stream. This is done. This is done. Let's break that into its other parts because it's enemies, bio, a lot of different rooms. Rot, lab, mines, houses. And that's all. That's the entire west. Here we just need walking, aiming, fighting. All right, so that's our list of to-dos for today. The goal is to try and uh, finish that. Um, Hopefully allowing me to have an alpha done by the end of the holiday. City's birthday. Big day. Uh, so um yeah. Yesterday I streamed for 7.5 hours straight. In that time, um a lot of cool things were finished, but we did not finish them all in time for today. But we're getting fucking close. We're getting really close. As you can see, there's just a couple animations left we need to fix. Well, there's animations. We need to have animations. We need to have enemies from the final couple scenes, and then that's it. A lot of stuff is now implemented. I don't know if it works because we don't have bug testers. Um, but a lot of stuff is implemented. Which is very cool. Very cool. I'm trying to think of what I want to prioritize here. I'm thinking animations should be first priority because the enemy handler is built for the first couple hours of the game now. And realistically, I don't think we're going to see someone get past Ned in the first couple hours of the mod's release. I think there's going to be too many bugs for that to be an issue. Um, so my thought process is get the animations because people will notice that immediately that that's not a thing. Um, yeah. Very cold. So what we want to do is we want to have animations. Where do we want animations? We want animations when there's walking. So when you apply a vector, you don't want Elster to just have the default animation. You want her to play the walking animation. So let's open Signalis to see how that works. So what someone told me, this is what I'm checking right now, is the one way you can do this. Animations. I'm just going to ping by my friend. Like these out. Uh, Here we go. The dictionary of the bones and simply copy paste the local recommendations. Okay. So the way he's suggesting it is we query every single frame, the animations that occur, and we just play them manually via like a method, which is possible. Definitely possible. I don't know how big of a priority cropper animations are for me, because that does feel like a down the road. Wires, my room is a mess. So I've just been busy working on this, so I haven't been doing anything else really. Which has its pros, in that this project is moving along very quickly, but also its cons, in that I need to clean my room. Uh, Here we go. Testing this mic. Try this mic out. Testing. Okay, yeah, it does work. All right. So we're just going to use this mic. Um, yeah, the theory is we should be able to patch the the three animations I'd like to have. Um, Primarily, the most important one to me is that we get rid of T-posing, because T-posing just it's going to be a thing that once we are publicly testing, people aren't going to understand that that's like, oh yeah, that's fine. There's no problem with T-posing because it's just T-posing. They're going to be like, whoa, why is it T-posing? I did something wrong, or Chris did something wrong, or someone did something wrong. Um, simple thing. That's the walk animation. This is the idle animation. Like, Elster just goes up and down. So I wonder if I can search for idle. Maybe enter name contains idle. Here we go. So I don't know if you can look up animation clips. Is that a thing you can do? Can I do? So the thing we're using to animate here is, so we have an animation clip. In this case, unarmed. This is the one we want. It's the one we're going to play, at least. For now. We can add more complex ones if this works. We have a character root, LED default. We have a meta rig. We have this. We have a meta rig. So how do I play? Here's the $1,000,000 question. How do I play an animation with just the meta rig? I'm Googling it. Because sometimes it's good to just admit you don't know something and then just look it up. Okay, so what we can use is something called the animator component. And then we can play an animation by name. Do we have an animator on Elster or Elster clone is the question. So we have MetaRig here, we have root here. I don't know if we do. Could I add an animator? Could I add an animator? What happens? Do I have to define this? If I go to instance. So wait a minute, let's not play too much with this. Is there there's an RK Walker, look target, meta ring. We want to grab a is this RK Walker? Prerequisites? It is under character root, which is a bit of a problem because we don't copy the character root. We don't copy this. So what we do need to do is copy this. And ooh, that's not going to be fun. All right, so let me think of how we're going to pull that off. When we instantiate, oh, we set up. Do we grab a reference to the root? We do. We do grab a reference to the root. So what we can do is root.getComponent Unity animator, where I guess animator is just the name of the component. Yeah, get component the animator. We're gonna grab this animator. We're gonna call it animator root, animator root, animator a root. We're gonna grab that, and then we're going to take a root. Ugh, shit. We are getting rid of some. I might regret this, but I kind of need this to not be separated. So I'm going to do that. And then this does this drive to destroy that object. We also want to do storage dot clone dot add component. We're adding an animator to her. Aver, can I just add like that? Is that allowed? No. Can I do that? Nope. How do I add a component? How to add existing component new object. Is it like plus? Is it something as stupid as plus? New game object, add component. No, that's not what I want. What I want is something. How would I describe this? It's definitely dot add component, I think. Apparently that's a bit harder than I thought it was. The root doesn't actually have anything in it, right? Oh god, it has a rigid body. Why don't we copy this? What was the issue with copying this? I'm trying to remember. I know there is an issue,
But I don't remember what the fuck the issue actually is. Because if I can just copy this, then I have access to the animator. I don't have to worry about anything. Um, and then I can just play animations. Because if I go down here, I don't have access to the animator anymore. What is the issue? Why don't we just copy this route, this entire thing? I'm sure there's a reason. Let me think, let me think. Because manually copying it is going to not work. Because we need to reestablish the route, and then reestablish all of the meta rig. That's just not going to work. I already know it. What could we do instead? Can we instantiate this? What happens when I instantiate this? Ah, was that the fucking issue? Ooh, this is getting very buggy. Very fast. Elster's on her side over there. No. Stop. Stop. Uh, uh. All we need is the animator. Okay. So cloning the root does not work. You can't do that at all. So we have to clone the animator. Actually, I'm gonna delete this clone just because it's pissing me off. Doesn't matter what room I go to. Any room. Whoa. Let's reload the room. Doesn't even matter what room I'm loading because we're not really doing anything with enemies right now. We're just doing things with Ulster's body. Um. All right. So we can't clone the entire thing. Cloning the entire thing blows everything up. So we have to clone the animator. In order to clone just the animator, is there a way we can do just the animator? This is the animator. We want to clone this. See, the problem I'm recognizing here, right, is this is the animator, there's the rigid body. I don't see a timeline where it's going to let me just copy both of those things. Like, let me think about that. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take a screenshot of this, and I'm going to think about this next to my code. Because my theory is, with the rigid body, because cloning that parent breaks fucking everything. It's not called a rigid body. It is. Need to add a reference. I haven't do that in a long time. I'm trying to figure out how to do that. Uh, how do I add a fucking reference? I don't really need any of that. What I need is, huh? I forgot how to build add references. It's been so long since I've done that. Nope. Window, reset window layout. Yeah, there we go. And then I can just add a reference up here, I think it is. Nope. This way. I cannot remember where you add references. It has been so fucking long. Is it in here? What the hell? It's in properties. I'm almost sure about that. Properties? No, it's in this tab. Where is references? No, fuck. Community. It's community I use. I don't use code. The Solution Explorer, right click. Dependencies. See, I don't fucking have that. Is it in here? Oh, there we go. My setup was just weird. Browse, I guess. I need Signalis. Nope. I need Rapper. Was the DMP maybe? No. Shit. Alright, wait. Properties, installed files, browse. This needs to be set as a favorite. Where is it? It's like here. Can I favorite this? In quick access, thank you. Alright, so we can go over here, browse. Thank you. Dependencies. Unity dependencies. Unity engine physics modules. What do we need? LMNOP. Something physics. Yep, physics module. Add. Okay. Alrighty. So now we can go here, we get rigid body. Awesome. Then we can go back down here. We grab the rigid body. This is a very arbitrary way of doing this, but I hope this works. Honestly, I'm going to put this in a secondary nested try-catch. Just do a logger dot message error on animation handler. Cool. Alright. This is a very fucking brute force way of doing it. But I don't entirely know what we do and don't need from that, so I'm not going to make any guesses. What instead I'm going to do is this gets us an animator that's now added. We can store a reference to this animator in our up here, public animator, LE animation. Then we can go down here and we can set this clone animator at LE animator storage dot LE animation is equal to clone animator. If anything, we don't even need clone animator. We can just replace all instances with this. That gives us a reference to the animator. Now when we do the run, when we do movement, we can do Penrock Love. Wow, I fixed my VSC by loading the fucking... My VSC has been broken for a while and I just fixed it and it's quite fun. Yeah, check vector. So if the vector is not equal, well actually no, that's a check vector. We don't really need to do anything with that. We want to do the apply vector. If this is not equal, then we do storage.le. Does apply vector not take storage as an argument? It doesn't? Okay. Comma storage. Let's just make it take that as an argument. It's a lot of things that one day I am going to fix, but that I'm not fixing today. Storage.le animation is equal dot play. Can I just play a... Oh, what can I just play? What am I allowed to just click play on? So I can do an int, state name hash, state name layer, state name, nope. I need to play animation. Or what commands can I run here? Rebind, reset, send message, set float, set goal, set hint. Start playback. I don't really want any of those. What is the actual one that I'm supposed to be using here? It's meant to be animator. Yeah, that's what we got. Dot play animation name. Is it genuinely just that? Is state name just a really fucking complicated way of saying? Yeah, I guess it is. Alright, so then we go over here. We go back to the game. We know that we have an animation called LA Idle Unarmed. We click close all. Uh, there we go. Yep, I love when my computer just starts dying. So we want to do play and we want to give it a bunch of overrides. Okay. We just want to run here with string, which is going to be LE idle unarmed. LE underscore idle underscore unarmed. Oh no, this is moving. This is moving. So we want moving. Search. Walking. Search. Nope. Class filter animation clip. Search. Aim, 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 aim. Going on. Aim, 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 idle, aim, armed, idle. Run. Name contains run. I don't think there's a difference between running and walking. So if we just do run unarmed, here we go. That should work. Build. Success. Alright. And then else we can play. For now, that should be good. We can play that, and then we can play if. Let's store another fucking int. Public int delay timer for animation. So let's just set this to some arbitrary value. Well, it's going to start out as 0. I say we go with 5 as the arbitrary value for the delay checker. Where's my code? What the fuck? Where's my code? Here we go. Run unarmed. -10. Let's just run a if delay timer storage dot delay timer for animation is less than is equal to 0. or I guess it would be is greater than 5, then we play the new one. And this will be true here too. Greater than 5, then we're going to play Elster Idle. Unarmed. Pretty sure that's what it's called. Idle. Yep. And then we want to run a argument down here. Where we just iterate forward. Storage dot delay timer for animation plus plus. Why isn't that working? Why is that not working? This is an int. Oh. This is a very, very fucking rudimentary way of doing this. But in theory, this should work. I'm trying to think of mentally what could go wrong. They just need to set back to 0. Storage dot delay timer for animation is equal to 0. And this also needs to do that. And I think 10 might be better, honestly. Well, no, let's do 100. So these will set to 0. That gives 100 frames of delay between the animations. And I feel like that's sufficient. And that will handle the 2 animations that I wanted to build. It doesn't handle aiming, but that's because currently none of the code handles aiming, so that will be something for another day. Alright. We can build. We're at what? How many lines of code now? 4,514 as of build 8. So we're going to build. We're going to select here. CMP. Jump to present. New builds. Animations added. Simple animations added, I should say. That handles that. Now we just have to add the last couple enemies. Boss logic isn't added yet, but that's fine. Neither is unified handling of location for enemies, but that should be okay because they are gonna have the same logic, but it might become something that like later in development I sit down and I go, okay, I'm gonna fix that now. This is an alpha. This is is it possible to play through all of Signalis with a friend? After this build, the answer could be yes. There should be nothing that makes you go, wow, I kind of have to quit for a little bit, wait for development to catch up. Should be just, okay, it's buggy, but it could be worse. Um, a rebuild is definitely going to be necessary, and I'm definitely going to put that in the funding goals. Because does this not have a reference? Yes, it does. As far as everything has at least one reference. Um, Save. Nope, stop. Okay. The last thing we need to add is the enemy handler for the last, like, third of the game. So, at the moment, I have enemy handling up until, I want to say bio. I hope it's bio. Wow, this is in a weird order. No, I don't. It's Port of Wides and Web definitely doesn't. Rotfront definitely doesn't. Does RES? RES does not. Does medical? Medical does. So enemy handling is good up until medical. Well, as in is implemented to a form. That leaves 5 zones, which I need to update on this here. Bosses, obviously, but it's RES, ROT, MEM. No, there's no enemies in MEM. There is enemies in bio. There is enemies in lab. There's also enemies in mines, which currently isn't handled at all because mines is a funky room. Ugh. Alright. So that means everything up until medical is fully implemented. After medical, it's half implemented. Enemies aren't handled. Um, so what I could do is sit down right now and hammer out the last bit of enemies. Because enemies are never really complicated to add. They're always more so just painful. They're more of a painful kind of thing than a complicated kind of thing. Ruler of my heart, ruler of my heart, my heart. Ugh. Now there's gonna be a lot of bug testing that's needed to be done so we can get to beta. Uh, so there's a lot of enemies that need to be added from a lot of different rooms. I'm a bit dreading at the moment because enemy handling is never. It's gonna be a lot of enemies I have to add. All right, let's add the temporary scenes we need still. We still need a couple more scenes. So there's RES, EXC, EXC, mines, room name. Just add this as room name 10. Terminal West. Then this just becomes EXC mines. Public static void EXC mines. Int room name West string terminal West. That gets you EXC. EXC, EXC mines, and then we still need We still need Folk, which is... What room name is she? She is... BOS Adler. Yeah, BOS Adler. Let's just be doing BOS Adler. 10, 11, 11, BOS Adler. Static void BOS Adler. Which takes an int room name. Comma. List string. Internal list. Alright. BOS Adler. Did I spell it wrong? No, I did not. BOS Adler. Right. So, technically speaking, every room should now be at least red. We just gotta add the enemy handling and boss fights. I am very tired. So I'm thinking the plan will be that we do that. Um, I'm sort of mentally calculating how long this is gonna take me. Because there's a lot of fucking enemies I need to add the handling to. Um, what I might do is finish enemies up to mines, meaning I focus on Myaina. I can do EXC mines now, and then I can do the Myaina boss fight, which I don't think is currently handled. The way I might handle boss fights is running a force dash kill to ensure that they die. Oh, right now, yeah. What I do know is this. This is the furthest this project's ever come along. I am super fucking tired right now. I kind of have a stomachache. So, what I think I might do, I'm just trying to think here. It's 11 o'clock. It's just, that is a lot. I'm just sort of realizing that is a lot of fucking enemies to add. I am very tired, and I don't know how much I want to do that right now. I will be doing it, but God, that is a lot of fucking enemies to add. Like, even if I just do EHC mines here, let's take a survey. How many enemies are in EHC mines? Gonna double the health for enemies. Stuff like that, stuff like balancing. I am waiting until the mod is in a stable and organized state. When the mod is like perfectly working and we don't have any weird issues and animations are working and progression's working and the players can play from A to B, that's when I'm going to start talking balancing. Some of the stuff I'm thinking of for balancing would be doubling enemy numbers. Like obviously it would be optional, would be something you can toggle. But I think doubling enemy numbers is the simplest way to make the game fair, just making more enemies spawn in. Um, that's one thing I have on my sleeve. Another thing is I want to rework uh gunfights in City. I think the gunplay of Siggy is really bad at times. It's not meant to be good because it's Signalis, but that is definitely something that's on my sleeve. I want to see that. I have a lot of things I want to work on. I want to increase the size of lobbies to 4 would be really cool. Friendly fire, but also very cool. Stuff like that would all be really cool, if possible. So let's see here. We have Cavern. That has no enemies. EXC Elevator has no enemies. Star has no enemies. Office has no enemies. Cecilbon has no enemies. The Hole has no enemies. Hatch Room does. Monowire has no enemies. What the fuck? Combat Room. Is there only 2 rooms with enemies in this area? I was just bitching that this one's gonna be hard, but yeah, there is only 2 rooms of enemies in this area. It's Combat Room and Hatch Room. So I can just quickly do that. That's an easy one. We just take a public list of strings is exc. Whoa, exc mines rooms is equal to new list of strings. Hopefully that answers the question in a very roundabout way. Yeah, that's that we're far past that. We're looking for which enemies are in the mines. There's apparently only 2 enemies in the mines. 2 rooms of enemies in the mines, and those are combat room and hatch room. Hatch room and their combat room, which is quite interesting. It's the most uneventful room in the game, which is I'm not complaining. It's certainly not something I'm complaining about. Wait a minute. How are you getting room checked right now? Yeah, you're getting it wrong, is how you're getting it checked. I'm gonna say you don't have access to rooms at the moment. Neither do you, but you'll be fixed in a minute. Alright, so switch room name. We have case 0 is just gonna break. Case 1 is hatch room. Break. And then case 2 is combat room. Break. Then default. We just break. Alright, so hatch room. Hatch room gives us star, Yule, star, patrol, patrol, Yule, Myaina. These are conditional. So we need to reflect that. We're gonna do, we can actually do here is game object chunk is equal to game object dot find randomize objects and has a chance for the cut adware bus. That's up my sleeve. That's something I want to work on. I do want to see how much support this project gets now that it's approaching done. Because I don't want to sink. I sunk over 100 hours into this project. So any further projects are going to require just evidence that people want more projects, which I hope they do. I hope they do. Star Yule Myaina. Alright, so we can just do this. No, we can't. We have to do hatch room dot transform dot find enemy manager dot game object. And then we run a oh god. It's the fucking it's the really weird logic. Alright, so enemies are currently indexed at what number? Enemies are indexed at 29, so that means this one would be 30. So this would be if managed enemies, maybe if storage dot managed enemies contains key 30, or is it contains key 30? Remember when I got into playing Signalis, you had shown off your POV mod in a video. Yeah, that was a long while ago. My POV mod, I have an update planned for that as well. Because a bunch of people, the tutorial for it is apparently confusing people because a bunch of people are reporting something that's as a bug when it's not. You just have to disable complex rendering and enemies won't appear translucent. I don't think I explained that well enough, so I need to fix that. The other thing is I need to fix some just general handling with it. It's a little finicky at times. Um, so yeah, we just do want to do chunk dot transform dot find, and this one is Yule enemy one star. Is it star all caps? It is all caps. Yeah, I'm back. I took a break. Well, I didn't take a break from the project, but I did take a break from streaming, because it got super late and I was in and out of consciousness, because I was very tired. But it's Siggy's birthday. We gotta celebrate. 31. Curious how many enemies there are in the game. At the current moment, we're at index 31. There are 112 bulls that City MP handles. So I'm curious if there's more enemies or more objects in the game. It's a fun question for me, but I will have the answer to. Another thing I want to do is possibly just drop a mod that's like super edited enemies that do custom shit. I think that'd be really fun. Same with super edited weapons would be really fun, like fully automatic nonsense. I think that would be cool. I'd have to think about what I would want to do with it. I also want to figure out how to edit, um, like add new items. That would be really fun. There's a bunch of stuff that would be really fun to add. I just try to make sure that people actually would want it. That's kind of why this project's so cool, because there's clearly a demand for it, and I don't know that about other projects. I hope there is. Enemy 3, Miaina. Enemy 3. Enemy 3, Miaina. That gets us index 34. Okay, so that gets us the first 34. That gets us that room, combat room. It is 4 enemies. It's gonna be the exact same logic as this room, it's just with different enemies. So this case it would be combat room. What do you mean? No, it's not. It's chunk 2. Yeah, we want this to be chunk 2. Okay. So we find the combat room, we find the enemy manager, we do enemy 1 star, enemy 2 Yule. Is it Yule or Yule? Yule. Enemy 3 is star, and then enemy 4 is star, I'm pretty sure. Yep. And is that all of them? That is. There is no mana in that room. And that handles the entirety of the mines. The mines were super easy. I'm actually really happy about that. It gets an easy room off the west. We can focus on the other ones now. Be cool if Rose Engine made the game open source for one of the anniversaries, or is it open source already? No, it is not open source. Would be cool. I don't think they will, though. They don't really enjoy people poking around their code. they aren't a big fan of me as a byproduct, which is fair enough. I wouldn't want people poking around. Well, I don't know. It's they're allowed to dislike people poking around their code. That's totally valid. But I think the community quite enjoys the idea of city mods. So poke around, I must. Poke around, I must. Okay, hatch room, combat room. Alright, that gets the mines. What that doesn't get is the boss fight. So what we need to do is figure out what the fuck the boss fight's doing. To my knowledge, the boss fight is at the end of MED. It is Surgery Mana, I think. Because there's two boss rooms in this quote. Yeah, that makes sense. RNest, RNest, and then the mana itself. Um, yeah, that makes sense. So, Surgery Miana, is that currently handled by the West for medical? It is not. Surgery Miana. That's good. Next room that's Protector's bathroom. We're in Protector's. Oh, no, we're not. We're in M. MED. Okay. Yeah, agreed. I think it's very, very, very unlikely that the game would ever go open source. Alright. So all we need to do here is what bowl did I say I just ended on? EHC mines I ended on 33. So we have 3 enemies to handle in this room. So 34, 34. Game object chunk surgery is equal to game object dot find surgery minus surgery dot chunk, and then we grab our 4 pools that we're gonna have here. So 34 through 3. Just it's just 3. 35. Oh, that sucks. Sorry to hear that. I also disappeared for a while because of IRL stuff. I'm only back recently, very recently. Are these RNS tiles the actual enemy? Uh, Pivot. Oh god. Alright, so the enemy Rs are technically nested down 2. So it's nest tile. Love that. Thanks, thanks, Rs. You guys have to complicate it. The R's love being a little complicated. So RNS tile. So it's gonna be RNS tile. R, how do I spell that? Nest tile. Is it a capital T? It is. Wait. Here we go. It'd be RNest tile. And then RNS tile 1. But we actually have to go into storage for that because dot find, that's not good enough. It's gonna be pivot. There are 2 things named pivot in here. That's not good. What's the difference? Do they both have enemy R, isn't it? They do. Well, they don't. Okay, I'm just gonna hope that this works. Enemy space R. I don't entirely know if that will work, but I hope it does. Nested is like thing is a child of another object. Oh, so it's harder to access. A little bit harder to access. All right, well that handles med. I should add more complex logic, but I'm currently not going to. I don't know if yeah, it has an enemy. It does have an enemy controller, so you can just go straight into the hitbox. Mianas have 200 HP, and you can kill them instantly with that. All right, awesome. Mines is done. Miana is done. What other bosses are in the game? The Chimera is in the game, and Falk's in the game. So let's get Falk out of the way. Technically, Adler is back here, and I could just do Adler as well, but I don't think that's too intelligent. Go to somewhere. Oh, whoa. Clear, gesture. I'm going to just walk up to Falk, figure out where the hell we are. I don't really know which version of Falk the game uses for the boss fight. Could be any of them. I don't really know. Yeah, do your spiel, Falk. Do your spiel. Alright, where are we? Is my question here. And intro, Adware betrayal. And are we... Somewhere's not in the code anymore, which used to be the answer to that question. Mana radio, ambience, stern hall. Where does it say we are? Arena. I that honestly I should have seen that going. Public West string BOS adware equals new list of strings, a blank, and then we want to do arena. Super simple. Super simple. Then we go to the reference. BOS adware. Jump back to here. Case switch. Room name. Case 0 is equal to break. Break. Default is equal to break. And then case 1 is equal to... Well, how many enemies are in this room with you, Falk? Enemy manager. Oh, you have a lot of enemies. This Colibri in the back is not real, to my knowledge. She's just the thing that if I go out here, she's doing that. I'm pretty sure. Yeah. Wasn't this boss fight like really buggy? Like he had a ridiculous amount of health. It's been so long. That sounds right. It definitely sounds like something that I mean. Actually, is he in the code right now? Sure. I'll pick up a spear. Um, I forget where the hell he is in the code nowadays, because he's not where he used to be. He used to be in somewhere. I actually don't see somewhere. Oh, somewhere is still here. Yeah, Adware. Let's see how much HP he has. Enemy 1, Adware. Enemy controller. Um, Where's your HP, bud? This would be in your hitbox. Ah, yeah, he has 10,000 HP. Yeah, yeah, that's a lot. That's a lot. Uh, yeah, I don't really know what's going on there. In good news, I found a way to play animations, and I think I found a cut animation the other day, but I'll talk more about that if I figure out what's going on. No, Ende is not where we are right now. We're in arena. We need to figure out what the enemies are called in arena. So we have RNest, 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 RNest. We have a shit ton of RNests. Then we have a star. No, we don't. Where's the star? I don't see a star. A star with no enemy controller. Where the f is this imaginary star? Oh, that's the shield. Whenever she pulls the shield out. And that's Falk. Falk manager and boss. What? What? Adler manager? Huh? What the hell is an Adler manager? I need to get Yowie in here. Genuinely, what the fuck is an Adler manager? I don't think I remember seeing that. It's the name of the room. Not room, the area. Does that disable this? It does. That's awesome. I'm lost at the moment though, because I don't know how to. There we go. Huh. There's no enemy under it. Um, I think this is just a code name for the boss handling, but that's so entertaining, actually. Um, End boss ammo, 5, Adware manager. So 5 would be the number of spears. Corrupted mesh cycle, down timer. Whoa. This is a lot of stuff. So here's a fun question. So she spawns with 10,000 HP. If I set her HP to 0, I don't think this is how she works, but if I do, what happens? She does not die. In fact, she. Oh, she does die. I don't think she gives a shit. In fact, I think she gives negative shit. Alright. Yeah, I don't think I can use the full. Okay, this is gonna take a little bit more logic handling than I expected. Alright, so I guess we should just get the RNests done, because the RNests are definitely just normal, nothing crazy going on. Simple little RNests. Where did I just do RNests? Mines? No, I did it in lab. No, I did it in medical. That's, yeah, maybe he was meant to. I don't really know why that's called Adler. I don't think I remember that, but I also haven't worked on this in a very long time. So 36 is going to be for. I think I needed just a custom handler entirely for Falk boss fight, which is a bit annoying, but this is just going to be named Chunk. Arena. Uh, game object chunk arena game object dot find arena dot transform dot find chunk dot game object. Using Unity engine physics. Oh gosh. Window. Reset window layout. Yes. Can I add my reference, please? Using Unity physics or Unity engine dot physics. Is this what is wrong? I added physics module. What is wrong? I'm gonna remove it and add it again. Yep. Okay. I mean, I can't fix that because that's whatever. I'll fix that later. 36. Are we on 36? Fuck, I forget where I'm at. Alright, we're just gonna iterate this to 37 just in case. 37 breakers. Okay, that worked. It literally wasn't even fuck. I hate programming sometimes. 38. Alright, so how many nest tiles do we have? We have two unnamed ones. This is 38. We have 39. Four named ones. So this would be 1, and then we go 40, 42, 2, 41, 41, 3, 42, 42. Alright, so that handles these nest tiles. They're not parenthesed. Because of course not, that would be too simple. They're underscored. Adding Falk herself seems like it's going to take a lot more effort than I thought. Where is, for the sake of simplicity here, what does this do? This says we have 5, we have, yeah, there's a lot fucking going on here. There's a lot going on here. This is a bit complicated. Loiter position, airstrike range, med minion. Is the last save room before Falk boss fight under the same name area? It's in the same arena. Still in Boss Adler. area, but it's not under the same room name, I think is what you're asking. Inspect until social distance stagger started. I'm gonna go with this is a problem for future me because this is not something I can reasonably pull off right now. So I'm gonna say that folk is just not being added right now because sh- that is gonna take way too long. I don't have that much time today. And that time could be better spent adding other scenes, especially because I don't think anyone's gonna get to folk in day one. I could be wrong. I'm probably gonna come back to folk. It's just right now she doesn't make too much sense to prioritize because um folk. That is an entire thing of its own. I don't even think that counts as an enemy because her HP is so high, which means all of the normal enemy handling isn't just it's just not gonna matter. What does matter is her stagger when she staggers, what phase she's in, what room she's in, whether she's activated her little gremlins or not. Like, there's so much going on there. That's a problem for another day. That's a problem for another hour. You should just add Adler boss to replace him for the time being. Yeah, Adler would be very easy to add. He's not very complicated. He doesn't do very much. I could add Adler in like 20 minutes. Adding Falk in the entire boss fight would take very long. Really, all of the boss fights, the Myaina boss fight, I have a half measure for at the moment that I'm okay with. Um, Same as gonna happen with Chimera. Chimera is gonna get a half measure because I can't exactly do entire boss fight logic right now. Or it's just see like they have this custom shite, and I just yeah. Yeah, no, I don't have the time or energy to deal with all that. I do have the time and the energy to just go quick, quick. There's a hitbox. Set the hitbox to 0. When it's dead. You know what? Actually, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do this. Falk, Chimera, Myaina are gonna be their own little things because they all have custom logic that I can't quickly add, but I will add. So that leaves RES, ROT, Bio, and Lab for the enemies. Alright, so I've been doing an hour and a half straight. I am tired. Very tired. I'm trying to think of what I want to do here. Has anyone gotten to testing any of these builds? Because that would help. Build. Save. Build. How big is the project now? Project is now 4,698 words. I mean, lines. Oh, gosh. Is it finally over 100 kilobytes? 98 kilobytes. Alright, so what's the game plan? Is the question now. I'm going to take a short break, but I'm debating how long I want that break to be. Because I could take a longer break, make myself breakfast, do some chores I have to do, uh, and relax a bit. Or we could just keep plumping along. Oh, I have the Adware boss fight mod installed on my computer right now. That's awesome. That'll make it even simpler. Uh, I think 120.7 hours I've spent on City MP. It's kind of crazy. Adler boss for each boss fight for now. That see again, that wouldn't even be that hard to add. That would not be that would be super easy to add, and it would work. But the only issue is Adler has he has like 100,000 HP. So good luck, I guess. Good luck fighting a semi-immortal stabby guy. I kind of feel like we should. Have I slept at all? I slept an hour, so I am a bit. I'm a bit tired. I will admit, I'm a bit tired. uh, we are certainly approaching the limitations of what I can do in a day. Um, we're trying. We're putting effort in. I'd really like to have the enemies done today, at least the base enemies. And then I can handle whatever bugs show up and the bosses. Ugh. On another weekend. Ugh. Because like I'm okay with the oddities of CDMP, but I want to make it into a project that people can go like, okay, I understand how we're getting this. And I don't need to have a like 400 word explanation for everything that's quirky about the project. This room has a lot of enemies too. Yeah, I'm gonna wait for the bosses because I also want to study how the bosses work because that would be fun. I feel knowing exactly what makes them all like the Chimera has a specific controller for the legs. That's dope. Um, let's just safe mode ignore. We're opening Unity because I want to check something out. Because there's something in the code called hug, and I'm just curious what it is. This is my definition of a break. Mm. Ugh. Yeah, what am I looking for? I'm looking for animations. Animation quip. We want to look up hog. It is definitely an animation quip. Hog. What's the Ulster hog loop? Yeah, that's just cute. That's just the cute ones. That's not the ones we want here. Um, huge eye. No, that's not a hug. Wog. Huh, that's unpleasant. Yeah, there is that. That is cool. I'm trying to remember. I might have to re-import the game because where is Hug? Ulster aim, Ulster aim, Ulster aim, Ulster aim, Ulster aim, Ulster aim. I want like your Hug. Your. Maybe? Animation, attack, cleaver, die, expire, fall, get up, squirm, die, 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 die. Hurt, idle, pursuit, sweep, dead, sweep, sweep, turn, 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 walk, 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 walk. Hmm. Hug is not in the version of the game I have for for my thing. So I'm gonna have to. Hmm. Okay. Is that a huge video? Is that in the game, perhaps? I don't think so. I could be wrong, but I don't think it is. Okay. Um. Alright. I'm actually really hungry and tired. I'm trying to think what I want to do here. It's not too much left to do. Mhm. I'm gonna go on a short break, is what I'm gonna do. Are the clown shoes from the video she posted? Definitely not. Definitely not. I know that for a fact. I would know if there was clown shoes in the game. Or at least I think I'd know. I'd hope I'd know. Uh, this is very disorganized, but yeah, I'm gonna take a short break, like 10 minutes, maybe 20 minutes. I'll be back with the final stretch. We have 4 rooms of enemies left to add. Fucking Protector's gonna be rough. Rot Front's gonna be rough. Bio won't be that bad. And Labyrinth will also be rough. But Bio should take like 5 minutes. The other's gonna be 20 a pop. Um, but yeah, if you have Signalis on your phone, but not phone, definitely not phone. If you have Signalis, um, and you'd like to test, the build is in VSL right now. The newest build. I think that's the newest build. Um, so if you'd like to test, feel free. There's plenty of shite to test. Yeah, I'll be back if I can find the mute. Ew. I took a break. Hopefully this will increase morale. Um, so the goal will be to get the last final enemies done. Um, and yeah, that's the goal. Let's see if anyone wants to test, maybe. Because that could be fun. Or probably, what? Mm, Alright. When I left, I had 27 viewers. Now I have 41. So hello, everyone. There's a large chunk of you who joined, saw the BRB stream, and decided to stick around for 20 minutes or however long I was gone. Love that. That's so kind. Alright, so the plan. Plan, pots and pans. I have a sandwich. I'm gonna eat the sandwich while working on... I'm gonna eat all this food that I bought while working on the bio enemies. We're gonna finish bio. Then we're gonna work on um, Rez's enemies. I'm gonna clean my room while I do that, because I still have to do that. I still have laundry to do. And I still have some trash to clean up. I do have some other chores, which I've been doing nothing but City MP all weekend. It is driving me a touch insane. But yeah, we're gonna resume. Get more of this good Signalis going on. Um, how was everyone's day? Everyone good? This sandwich is really good. It's egg, sausage. I don't know what else is in it. But it's good. Alright. Currently, Bio only tracks one room. We need it to track all the rooms that have enemies. Which I don't know how many rooms in Bio have enemies, but it's more than one. That's for sure. The Bio Re-Edge. Alright, let's see what we're dealing with enemy-wise. Alright, so... Staff, no enemies. Ola, enemies. East Corridor, enemies. What the hell is the difference between East Corridor 3 and East Corridor? Both have enemies. No enemies in that. No enemies in that. So East Corridor 3 has enemies. East Corridor has enemies. Ayula has enemies. And that's it. So, how many enemies are we looking at here? 3 in Ayla, 2 in East Corridor 3, 2 different ones in East Corridor. Hmm. There's no map to this section. Right. No, we want hash drawn. I don't know if I believe that there's 2 East Corridors. Because this is West Corridor, right? No enemies there. But you get through this door, and you get enemies, right? This is East Corridor. This is just East Corridor. I don't have Ghost on. This is East Corridor 2. Oh. There is 3 East Corridors. They're just long. Okay. So how many enemies does that mean total? 2, 4, 7. Yeah, this will take like 5 minutes if I just put my sandwich down. Alright. So it's called East Corridor. No spaces. And Ayula. Alright. So, what number are we referencing here? 42. So this would be 43. Oh. Oh. This is a good sandwich. Sorry for the ASMR. Awesome. Then we just take this logic. We're gonna copy it. Move it over here. I should share my code. I did that yesterday. People liked it. Hmm. There we go. Now you can see the code be more involved. 42, 43. Okay. So we just paste. We do 43. There's only 3 enemies in these rooms. They aren't as busy as some of the other ones, but they are smaller, so if anything, I think they're a little bit worse. In difficulty, they're harder. Not worse in design. This should say not chunk. This should say what we're doing east chunk. Whoa, what the fuck is that? Yeah, I don't want whatever the fuck it was doing. I just wanted to. Eh, I hit a button by accident. No, I did not mean to click that. I forget which button it is. B, B. Nope. 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 Shit. Give me a second. I definitely want that disabled. Because I don't know what button that did that, but I definitely can't have replace being my only option. Fig Newtons. What's everyone's thoughts on Fig Newtons? I'm a huge fan of Fig Newtons. I think they're very cool. Insert key. I don't fucking have that key. Found it. That's so weird. We find East Corridor. Pretty sure it's one word. It is. Enemy Manager. I think it's 44 actually. 44. Jump East 1. And we're finding a your enemy 1. Your. We're gonna copy this exact logic here. I'm looking at East 1, right? Nope, I'm looking at East 3. East 1 is a Storch and a Yule. Enemy 2, Yule. Yep. That is the first room. And we copy this, and we go on to the next room, which I made be East Corridor 3. And it's Case 3, isn't that funny? And this becomes 45. Nope. This becomes 45. And that becomes 45. This becomes 46. This becomes 46. This becomes 47. And this becomes 47. And in this case, we're looking for room 3. East Corridor 3 is 2 Yules. Your. And this is East Corridor space 3. We just get rid of this logic. Copy this logic. Move down 1. Alright, now we're doing Aula. Chunk. Aula. And then we have contains T48, 59, Yules. No, we need one more. Yule has a Storch, and 2 stars. Storch, star. Let me just copy and paste again. Enemy 3, star. And just like that, unless I've misclicked, there we go. We've gotten a bow. Awesome. That gets bio done. That leaves us with 3 rooms left. Oh, we're gonna keep working till I get through all my food, and then I'll clean my room. That has to be cleaned. Alright. So next up is the I guess res is next. Hmm. I forgot how big the res is. Res is so large. This is gonna take a while. Slow but steady. Alright. What rooms do we have to deal with here? Hmm. Oh, this is rough. This is a lot of enemies. This enemy manager just turned off. I wonder why. Wow, there are just so many fucking enemies in this part of the game. I knew it was gonna be bad. I just don't think I thought it'd be this bad. Okay, so what is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. 19 rooms of enemies in front alone. That's a lot of enemies. I'm taking a bite of my fucking sandwich. I'm trying to think here. Is there a way I could do this slightly faster? His 19 enemies is a lot. Hmm. Well, it's not 19 enemies, it's 19 rooms of enemies. You know what? Let's figure out how much each is. So Res is 19 rooms. How many is Rock Front? Hmm. This room is looking like I'm not sure it's far less. Alright, whoa, this is a lot less. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I lost count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Alright, so that one has 12. Right front has 12. I also just spotted a bull. I'm gonna have to probably try to fix again. But that's a problem for future me. Labyrinth. How many bulls do we think Labyrinth has? Alright, not bulls. Enemies. We moved on from bulls. We've done those. Well, besides bug fixing. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 9. Just Tremere doesn't count. So lab actually has the least. Residential has the most. Right front is somewhere in the middle. Alright. With this in mind, let's work from smallest to biggest. So we start with lab. Alright. First room. It's called corridor. might be going here. Which will get it added as case 15. We had a break. Not you when you're hungry. We're gonna follow the same logic here. What room did I just do? I just did not the mines. I did bio. I did bio. Bio ends with 50. So we're on 51. This becomes hatch chunk. It's T51. Hatch chunk. That would be corridor. I mean, it'd stay hatch chunk. That's not really important, but corridor. And I'm looking for 1 Yule and 2 Yules. That gets us T51. Then we get T52. The other Yule. Then we move to the next room. Case 16. Case 16. So after corridor. Oh, corridor wasn't even the first one. We have loop hall. Ow. Here. Loop hall. This would be loop chunk. How many enemies are in there? There are 3. Including a Calibri, which are a little complicated, but we should be okay. That iterates from 53, 53, 54, 54, 55, 55. Yule and starch. Calibri. This isn't going to be corridor though. This is going to be loop hall. Which goes up here. And that's our next room for the list. Protector is just far and away the biggest area in the game. It's shockingly large. Now, here. After loophole, we get surgery. Surgery, I feel like we do use for something else. Surgery and lab. Yeah, we do. Surgery and lab is okay. Existing one. That's all that's really needed to be known. Surgery. Chunk. Doll. The thing about lab that's going to make this a little bit more funky is most rooms that enemies are found in, you have something you need to get from that room, or at least a decent chunk. That's not the case in uh, most earlier locations, at least. All right, 56. Oh, my laundry's done. All right, surgery, enemy manager. Oh, there's 4 enemies in surgery. We are looking at enemy number 1 being Miana. And then there's just a bunch of other enemies. Oh, 5. I didn't even see that Yule on the bottom. Alright. That 5? Yeah, that's 5. Alright, enemy 1 is a Miana. Enemy 2 is a Storch. Enemy 3 is a Yule. Enemy 4 is also a Yule. So is enemy 5. That moves us to our next room, which is Carcass Hall. Great name. Where are you going this afternoon? I'm going to Carcass Hall. Whew. We're making progress. We're slowly but surely hammering our way through Labyrinth, the shortest of the 3. Alright. Oh, yeah. Alright. So, next room. Only 2 enemies in this room this time, though, which is good. This is going to be called Carcass Chunk. Oh, and then this is Carcass Hall. Is it Caracas or Carcass? Carcass. And then our 2 enemies this time are Yule and a Yule. So once you get into the rhythm of it, it's not difficult. None of this is difficult. At worst, it's tedious. But none of it's ever like, whoa, that was so hard to do. It's always like, okay, that was incredibly tedious. next one. It's gonna be case number 53, 54. I need to make sure these numbers are right. This is 55. This is also 55. And this is 56. Alright, next. Things next on the real list. I don't know the rest of the words. Pretend I do. From Carter's Hall, we get to sacrifice. Sacrifice does have an item, so that means we already cover it. Oh, that was the bull. Surgery. Sacrifice. What number are we on now? 55 was the last one. 56 maybe? And not lose track. Oh, okay, so this is 57, 58, 59, 60, which means these new ones are 61. Plug my laptop in. Oh, it is plugged in. What's the problem? Why is it giving me a bother? Are you mad that your wire is incredibly knotted? Or are you mad that I probably pulled the entire thing out of the wall like I always do? Alright, yeah, that's fixed. 61 gets us. We just take this. Enemy manager. In this room, in sacrifice, we have. There is no fucking way sacrifice has that. Oh, it does. It does have that many R's. No. Alright, well, we have two Yules. Okay. 62. 62. And now we add a shit ton of R's. Where is the last R? The last R was in the boss fight. So let's go grab it. Let's go grab an R. And we're going to spam them because there are a lot of R's in this scene. Sacrifice. This is 63. This part is rest. So how many nest tiles are we looking at here? We've got 1, 2, 3, 4. There's 4. I think there's 4. That gets us to 67. Whew. There's 4. Are these parentheses or underscored? These are parentheses. Oh, I didn't include enough of them. Boom. Alright, that gets 67. It's all 4 RNSs, and sacrifice is done. Glass Cage Room has 5 enemies. Does Glass Cage Room have anything I need? No, it's probably not worth it. Glass Cage. Glass Cage Room does. Glass Cage Surgery. Folk Flesh. Glass Cage has the serpent ring in it. There are 5 enemies in that room. So you know what that means. More enemies. What number did I just get to? 64, I think I got to. 64. 68 is where we're at now. The room name we're looking for is Glass Cage Room. Enemy Manager. Huh, we got 5 enemies. Yule number 1 is enemy number 1 is a Yule. Enemy number 2 is a Storch. Enemy number 3 is a Yule. Enemy number 4 is a Storch. Enemy number 5 is a Yule. Awesome. Alright. Gets another room done. Oh, we only have 3 rooms left. Should reflect that on the on-screen counter. 3 rooms left. Oh. Wait a minute. My stream might have crashed on my phone. Spun it. Alright, next one. We have 72. Huh, 3 rooms left. Execution room. Is execution a room we use? It is not. Execution chunk. Execution hall? Room. And then the Yules here are called execution 1 Yule, execution 2 Yule. Curious if there like is some differences between them. Not them, but them and other Yules. I wonder if there's anything fancy about them. This just seems like something that will require more time. Get 1 revive. Or 1 means they can revive. Either way. Alright, so that gets us the 2 execution mules for execution. Cage room. Cage room only has 2. Have we covered cage room before? Let's see. Nursery pattern. Glass cage. I don't see it, so no. Cage room. Case 19. Cage chunk. Oh, and those bull numbers are wrong. How wrong are they? 67. 68. This is definitely 68. No, I feel like we've done 68 before. Yeah, we're at 73. So down here we need to be at 73. 74. 75. That might be the only thing that I'm kind of fucking up right now, is the iterations of this. But that's because it's really fucking hard to keep track of. There's so many numbers that I have to manually keep track of. It's one of those things that, like, if I go back and work on this later, yeah, these numbers are wrong. 74, 75. 77, 78, 79. Awesome. So we're at 79 enemies. The next one is 80. Right, cage room. Alright, so this just becomes cage room. Instead of execution 1 Yule, execution 2 Yule, it's enemy storage 1. No, it's enemy 1 storage. And then enemy 1. 2. Enemy 2 Yule? Yeah. I did do 66, 76, and 77. I think we already have 78, 79. That's what I mean by this is just confusing. 80. We're on to 80. Cage room is done. Nursery. Nursery has 2 enemies, and that finishes us out. 80, 81. If I can figure out. Yeah, nursery is a pre. Nursery's already been handled. We need to just grab one of these. Are these? 80, 81. 80, 81. And this would just be nursery. No, I did not do that. Find enemy 1 Yule. Is it you or your? Your. Yeah, okay. Right, that finishes nowhere. So that leaves us with 31 rooms left to do. And then the 3 bosses. This is a lot of work. Um, Thankfully, looks like life is good. Alright. Somehow it says, my YouTube says there are 66 of you here today. So let's check if that's real, because I don't believe that. You all will choose if we're doing res or we're doing rot. Start a poll. Res, rot. Start poll. Never done this before. Vote if you're real. Vote if you exist. I have my doubts. I have my doubts. Do we want to do residential, protectors, or do we want to do rot front, which is rot front? Do 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 do. I think YouTube is just severely bugged. We got 1 vote for rot front. The single member of chat who's actually here. Let's go. Let's go. We shall do rot front for you. The lone viewer. Or did you vote rot? Yeah, you did. Okay. We have 12 bulls in rot front. Did I? Yeah, that's updated. Do 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 do. Yeah, I think YouTube is just severely bugged, which is really funny. Um, I'm gonna end the poll of one viewer voted Rot Front. We're doing Rot Front. The one viewer is in control here. Alrighty, let's get to work on that. Pretty rough. You've changed. You too, Edward BBG. Alright. Let me figure out a schedule here. So it's 1 o'clock my time right now. Have I cleaned my room yet? No. So need to do that. Need to do that. Alright. So 3, 6, 54. Alright. We're gonna do Rot, because one of you wants to see Rot. Real. I agree with the one of you who said that. Um, I'm also going to throw on a load of laundry, do some quick chores, just so that way they're done. Or maybe I should have left that poll to go for a few more seconds. Because we only have 2 rooms left. That's not one of them. Enemy handler, final rooms, D. Uh, Get the animations now. Those things can wait. Oh, my dear. Um, let's do this in a logical order. Let's finish that. Then we can do this. Yeah. All right. Oh, my back hurts. Do. I'm gonna join this VC. Bet. All right. The only reason I'm hesitating so much is this is a real undertaking to get this final set of blinds done. It's a very big project, City MP. Um, should probably upload the newest build. Oh, this is rough. Um, so I'm debating if I want to continue stream or not. 3 hours. We can go for another hour, I think. Go for another hour, get rot front done. Res is gonna be another day, I feel. I don't think I can get res done today. Um, is that true? Is that true? Can I get both? Either. See, I'd really like to finish both of them today, but I am fucking out of energy. And considering City MP is once again broke as fuck, it's a bit of a curve, a bit of a mild pressure, bit of a word. It's a bit of something, bit of something. Um, hmm. Um, like I just don't have energy for this right now. I was hoping the food would help, but I think there's a point where you just kind of run out of energy. And I think I've hit that point. I take like an hour break, I guess. Yeah, I think that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna take a break, wait for more Americans to wake up, call some of them, and return with more energy. Hopefully get done the last of RES and Rotfront. And I'll be back with that later. Ciao, ciao.